Welcome back to High School Sports Extra, presented by Nicolay National Bank. The Luxemburg-Casco boys basketball team is off to a great start and already just one win away from matching last year's win total. Joining me now to break it all down is the head coach of the Spartans, Tyler Thrune. Tyler, after 2 years of coaching JV at LC, you took over the varsity duties last year. I'm sure 6 wins wasn't what you were envisioning, but what did you learn from that first year of experience and your team in getting acclimated with you?
We learned a lot of stuff last year. We learned about how we need to do all the things that don't take talent really well. And sometimes we did that last year and sometimes we didn't. That's what led to our down record. We learned a lot from that. We learned a lot over the summer. I felt like the summer was a big development for us. We have a lot of multi-sport guys, and so in the summer things are a little bit more mixed. It's not the same guys game in and game out. Being able to show up. They might have a Legion baseball game that night, and we're splitting as best we can to share athletes, again, trying to promote multi-sport athletes. So some of our players who aren't primary ball handlers had to be some nights, and that made them better ball handlers overall, which helps us take care of the basketball, which is a point of emphasis for us in our program and something we're working on a lot this season. I think we've done a better job with so far this year that's allowed us to be a little bit more successful.
And I guess you could say coaching was in your blood, so you kind of knew you'd end up with this. It's been in your family. Tell me a little bit about that and any advice they may have given you along the way to kind of help, something that you maybe hang on to that they've told you along the way.
Absolutely. Both my parents were high school basketball coaches. Not necessarily to start off with, but like the first things I remember was my dad was the boys basketball coach down in Deerfield, which is in southern Wisconsin, and my mom was the girls basketball coach at the same time. Things changed a little while later. My dad went to Wanakee High School, became a varsity assistant there on the girls side. My mom then went to Sauk Prairie High School, which is where I went, and they coached against each other for a few years. So that was an interesting dynamic. Then once my sister got to high school, while my dad could coach against his wife, he couldn't coach against his daughter, and so he resigned and took a couple of years off when my sister went through. And then she is now the JV coach at Oostburg on the girls' side. Parents took a couple other jobs doing some middle school stuff and then jumping back at the high school level a little bit later once I was in college and things like that. But definitely been coaching for a long time, and basketball has been a huge part of my family. And so, like you said, it was always a goal of mine to kind of follow in those footsteps, become a teacher, become a coach, and the opportunity presented itself to become a varsity head coach in this program, and it's a great program to be the lead guy on. So appreciate all the advice that they've given me. They were able to come to the Fox Valley Lutheran game last night and were able to kind of help me out with, what could we have done better, and they're always willing to give that advice whenever they come to a game. So I really appreciate that, and a lot of what I do is modeled after what they've done, how they've coached, and things like that. And I can't pick 2 better role models than them. So
awesome, great stuff there. Well, let's recap the week that was for the Spartan Shelly. Let's go back to Tuesday night, where you guys played host to the reigning Northeastern Conference champions from Wrightstown, and you came away with a 63-54 win. Always a great atmosphere in that gym, right? I love the kids sitting there on the stage. That's one of the more unique things you see in the state. It was a 1-point game at the half. What did you think was the difference in getting by that tough Tigers team?
I thought our 1-3-1 zone was really effective on Tuesday night. From watching Wrightstown and what they've done so far this season, they do a great job attacking the rim, and everybody can handle the ball. They hadn't gotten their shooting stroke going quite yet, and so we decided that the best thing to do was to turn them into jump shooters. We did that pretty effectively, and we're very active, got a lot of hands on balls and things like that, as you see Carter Sewell chasing down. He got a little too active that time, leading to the 4-point play, but no, we were very active. We were very patient on the offensive end, getting it into the big fella, Nathan Koisman, who was able to get his 1,000th point on the night. Not quite there yet. Is Cassie Schiltz, who's D1 recruit on the girls' side, flipping it, showing support for our boys. Always appreciate that. But he's able to get it right there on the end one. You can see how jacked up his buddy Tony is to see him get to that mark, and how that's a team effort. And again, obviously the whole school, as you can see there with the girls' team being so excited. Very excited for him. Ian Dell hitting a 3 here. He's a big senior for us that is a captain for us this year and got the most votes, and he's been a great leader for us. So that's been a big part of our success this year too. So yeah, just being active offensively, doing what we wanted to do, working for great shots. As you see Matt Dorn with a nice tip out, and Ian Dell throwing it to Ryan Robillard, who's made a huge jump from last year to this year, going from a freshman to being a sophomore. He's made a huge jump for us. That's made a difference as well. Carter Sewell right there on the take, again, has emerged big from being a JV player last year. Now grew probably 2 to 3 inches over the summer. Adding that length for us has helped us in our zone, and he's been a big contributor this season as well.
And we mentioned Koisman, and it is a team effort, but it's nice when individual success comes in a big team victory. Here's what he had to say after reaching that 1,000-point milestone.
It feels great. I know from the start of the game I needed 9 points, and I wasn't trying to force shots because Wrightstown was a good team. We knew that we had to play a fundamentally sound game in order to win, so I just kind of let it happen. Your mind just kind of goes blank, and you kind of have to look at where your surroundings are, but it's a good feeling.
All right, with the ebbs and flows of basketball come the high and the lows, too. And after that big win against Wrightstown, you went on the road to Fox Valley Lutheran, and the Foxes were able to come away with their first win of the year, 56-44. So from your point of view, what went wrong last what was that, last night, right?
Yeah, it was last night, Friday night. A lot of what I said about what we did to Wrightstown, they did to us. We came out, we were very active in our 1-3-1, got a couple tips, got an early lead. We did well against their man-to-man, taking the ball to the rack, and then they switched into their 2-3 zone, which we thought would happen. We anticipated that, practiced against that, but they were very effective in it, played very well in it, took away a lot of our inside game. We were still able to get some points for Nathan, but we weren't able to get the shots from the outside that we needed to in order to come out on top. So a little bit of a struggle from outside. I think you're going to see all of our hits that we had
well,
in this highlight reel here. But so again, when you play against a 2-3 zone, you have to knock down outside shots, and we struggled with that. And that's the way it is in the game of basketball. And in the conference this year, like you said, it's FVL's first win on the season. But you look at their schedule, their first 2 non-conference games were against FVA teams who are D1 teams in Appleton East and Appleton North. We're both having pretty good seasons this year. So they faced that tough competition right off the bat. And then in conference, they've played Wrightstown before us. They played Denmark before us. So those are 2 really tough teams as well. So it's not as if, oh, they came in with no wins and they'd played some down competition. They came in with no wins because they played some really tough competition. And that's what our conference is going to be like this year, is anybody on any given night can beat anybody and anyone can lose to anybody because it's very deep. So the teams that finished in the bottom half of the conference last year in terms of standings return a lot of experience, a lot of seniors coming back, 3-4 starters coming back. Teams that finished near the top half of the conference that maybe have had a little bit more talent last year, a lot of those teams lost a lot of guys. Still very talented, great programs, but things balance out a little bit when you have guys playing for their second or third year on the varsity level, like us and other teams that finished in the bottom half last year have, and I think that's evening things out in the conference.
All right, well, let's take a look at your upcoming schedule. Next Thursday, you welcome in Denmark, another team that's off to a 3-1 start in NEC play. And after that one, the next time we'll see you guys on the floor will be in 2019. A good non-conference game scheduled there against Southern Door. Back-to-back games, kind of unique there at Southern Door and then at Little Chute. So that'll be a tough stretch. And then Wrightstown's currently the only 4-0 team left in NEC play. We'll see if they're still that way when you meet them. And then, of course, coming up on January 11th, it's a game where you're hosting Marinette. So probably the toughest stretch of the schedule coming up. It may dictate exactly what direction your season goes. That's all the time we have this week in the Prep Spotlight. Tyler, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, best of luck the rest of the year.
Appreciate it.
All right, when we come back on High School Sports Extra, time to wrap up the last show of 2018. What better way to go out than with the Team of the Week and the Local 5 Top 5 plays, so keep it here.